Overflow. Overflow was like so many versions.
Yeah.
So many versions. So there wasn't one moment when it was like, oh, the inspiration is now. It's like that moment happened, but it was just the vocal on the chorus or just the intro of the song, and those were months apart.
There are many moments.
Yeah, lots of little. But that's the beauty of working on one song over a longer period of time and not just like doing it in one day. The beauty of coming back to it and continuing to take cracks at it is that you give the opportunity for lots of lightning strikes.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Yeah, like you kind of consistently get re-inspired. What inspired you to begin with, then when you take a break, reconnect, inspires you again.
Yeah, that's right.
That's interesting.
That's right.
Can we talk about Two-Faced?
Yeah.
The guitar is incredible. Sick.
Thank you. I'll tell Brad you said it. Brad and I wrote the guitar on that song.
Are we like very selective as to like where it goes?
We don't care very much. We kind of just do whatever.
It's not true. Not true. Two-Faced, caught in the middle. The dark's too vivid. The light's not fair.
Is that your line? The dark's too vivid? I don't remember which one of us.
That's you.
Is that me?
Yeah.
I
think caught in the middle,
I
think was that one.
I was just thinking of like who wrote the word.
That's you.
Because we were just, I haven't mentioned Colin today. Colin Britton is like, he was like part of the process just as a writer and a co-producer. Like I just love working with Colin. I had met him in sessions and then was bringing him in to help with writing and production.
He's added a lot to this band too.
And then eventually we were like, hey dude, like turns out we need somebody to play drums. So like I know that's his primary instrument. So I was like, is that something you would want to do? It would mean stepping away from your like production career.
Wasn't it the thing where it was like, well, we need somebody live. So do you want to play guitar or do you want to do drums?
Oh yeah. Originally it was like, we
it was kind of like that.
We didn't know. Yeah. Cause
just
Brad,
very just like,
we knew Brad is, in case anybody doesn't understand the dynamic, like our guitarist, Brad is our guitarist. He's in the band.
Yeah.
But, he's realized that in terms of his like, it's kind of like a mental health thing. Like he doesn't love the touring and the live show lifestyle. And so he is our guitarist, but he's not playing live. So he found a guy named Alex who's spectacular, really good guitarist, and they get along great. And Brad chose Alex to play his parts live. So, but at the time we hadn't met Alex, and so we asked Colin. I was like, Brad needs somebody to play guitar, and we need a drummer. Like, you do both equally well. What would you want to do? And he was just like, kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
Just like, I can't believe I think he said, I can't believe what you're asking me right now. So excited.
But again, like another testament to what you've created and built, right? Like this desire, then the instant, like, yes, I'll drop by like a seasoned producer, a fantastic musician, both of you. Like the idea that like, yes, I'm going to park my stuff and also like, it's a collective thing now. It's also the universe.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
Right. That's right.
A lot of stuff falling into place.
Well, and Colin and Emily, like originally, if you had talked to us in like 2019, like we were just looking for a singer, right? That was the role to fill. And as things evolved, it became what it is. And I realized after we launched, like actually it was as the week of the launch show, like a little over a month ago, the pressure was on. Everything was about to happen. Nothing had really leaked.
It's
like
crazy.
We were all like,
how did that happen?
We were all so nervous too. And we were just like, we have so much to get right. Don't mess up anything. Don't miss a beat. Like, let's just get it right. And I watched Colin and Emily have each other's back. Like they were like, we're the new guys. Like we got it. Let's rehearse more. Let's get everything right. And they kind of went on their own and spent time together to like work stuff out that we knew because we've been doing it for 20 years. And I realized, oh my God, like we accidentally ended up in this wonderful dynamic where they've got each other. They can both go and like besides the playing, like relate. They can talk about it and be like, can you believe we're sitting here doing this? Like, this is weird. And they had those, I've heard them have those conversations. It's awesome. It's the best. You should talk about it because I shouldn't be talking about it.
No, you're right. I mean, it's like one of those things where I'm like, I couldn't have done this by myself. Like being the only, like how it's like a blessing to have had him have this whole process with me.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until it started getting, like the pressure was on and we were like, oh my God, like we have each other for this. Like this is, again, like it was the universe. Like I don't think I would have taken it so much, like as much grace as I have without him, you know? And because they're all seasoned in this. So it's nice to have that person where it's like, everything's so exciting and new, just like, you know, and, you know, we're just like, what the fuck? Like, what? Things that they're just like, doo-doo-doo, you know? As like anybody would look and be like, fuck, Emily, like, how crazy is this? I'm like, yeah. So that's basically how Colin and I talk, like, what the fuck? You know? Like, as fans, you know?
Well, Emily, when Mike first tells you that you guys are going to do live shows, like, where do you start? Like, do you just dive into the catalog or ask Mike for a set list? Like, where do you begin?
It's a good question. He definitely had like this is what we usually do live. You know, these are the ones that go very well. And it's like a very long list. So I didn't really have to have something exact. You know, I was just like, well, I got to get fucking started. You know, like this is going to be a lot. Like Colin and I were, you know, practicing months before, you know, like in his studio and just going over and like just trying to get these songs to feel like mine, you know. And some of them were a lot harder to do because like the older ones were harder. Even though I knew like when the song starts, like I know how to sing it, it was harder because there's layers to it where it's like years. I don't know why.
It's
mental
like a layers.
Mental, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's so much more to uncover with the song to like to really get to like, okay, it's meant so much to me and it's meant so much. It's like solidified in, like we're talking about the universe. It's like it's solidified in the universe. So now I have to somehow crack that and make that something that's relatable to me and to you as a listener.
Was that like...
So it's a lot
like
more
numb.
layers.
Like Numb, for example.
Yes.
It's probably one of them, right?
In the end.
In the end, yeah.
You know.
And you can't even think
even
about
Crawling.
it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Crawling was funny because Crawling was one of the... Okay, but she says that. But like, we were playing around with these like just what ifs. And we played it was acoustic guitar and Emily singing Crawling in my studio. Yeah. That just sat down like, what about this? And she like, what key do we find? Do we sing it in? She sat there and just like belted it out one time. I was like, yep, that's the fucking song. Like, that sounds awesome.